Hello, PEI. And hey, a huge shout out first to Mike Montague over at Remax Charlottetown. Thanks for all the great info that's powering this deep dive today.
Yeah, much appreciated, Mike.
So today we're digging into Charlottetown. You hear it mentioned a lot, right? It's just a really, really good place to be. Whether you're thinking about retiring or you've got a family, or maybe you're just looking for a great community to, settle into.
Right. It consistently pops up on those lists.
Exactly. So we thought we'd take a bit of a fun tour, explore some of the different neighborhoods, see what makes them tick, and maybe figure out what might suit different people. Sound good?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Okay, so first off, this high-ranking Charlottetown gets, it's often right up there as one of the best places to live in Canada.
It really is fascinating. And, the way they measure these things seems to be evolving, too.
How so?
Well, it's not just the traditional stuff anymore. They're putting a bigger emphasis on, how well a city supports modern life. Things like remote work setups. So good internet is key.
Ah, okay.
Right,
Makes
right.
sense.
Yeah, alongside, the usual suspects, great amenities, population growth, that kind of thing.
But they still look at the fundamentals, too, I assume.
Oh, absolutely. Things like, housing affordability, always a big one. Taxes, crime rates, weather, even health stats. It's pretty comprehensive.
And you definitely get a sense of pride from the city, from the mayor, about the place and its people.
You really do.
Yeah.
And practically speaking, that focus on infrastructure, like fiber optic internet in the urban spots, that's a huge plus nowadays.
Definitely. And just having things close by, right? Groceries, pharmacies, the basics.
Exactly. That convenience factor really adds up to quality of life. It feels like the city's pretty adaptable and there's a strong sense of community.
Okay, so Charlottetown definitely scores high on desirability. Fantastic. But if you're actually thinking, okay, maybe PEI, maybe Charlottetown, where do you even begin to look?
Right. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Let's dive into some neighborhoods. Brighton often comes up as like a top choice for buyers. What's the story there?
Brighton definitely has that reputation. It seems highly sought after. You can kind of tell because houses don't seem to come up for sale all that often.
Low turnover. People move in and stay.
Exactly. Suggests people are happy there. And it seems to hit a good price point, appealing to a fair few people.
And the housing itself, what's it like?
It's an interesting mix, actually. You've got these beautiful older homes, some over 100 years old, alongside developments from, say, the 70s through the 90s.
So character and more modern options.
Precisely. Gives people choice. And certain spots within Brighton are particularly prestigious.
Like where?
Well, the homes closer to the harbor or along North River Road, they often have these larger lots, kind of a throwback to when it was more of a cottage area,
Right. More space.
And then there's Old Brighton, which is a smaller, distinct pocket with those really stunning older Victorian places.
Okay, so even within Brighton, there are different feels. Good to know.
Definitely. That low turnover really speaks volumes about resident satisfaction, I think.
Makes total sense. Okay, let's head sort of conceptually into downtown Charlottetown, the historic core, right?
That's it. The original surveyed area.
Yeah.
Deep roots there. It's the real hub. Government offices, lots of service industry employers.
Yeah.
Think Confederation Court Mall, Founders Food Hall.
So lots of activity. Jobs, shopping, food.
And culture, too.
Yeah.
Confederation Center of the Arts is there, the main library. It's got that central energy.
Yeah, you can feel that. And for history lovers.
Oh, they're set. Victoria Park is right there. Beaconsfield Historic House. St. Paul's Parish, the big one. St. Dunstan's Basilica. You're surrounded by history downtown.
Beautiful architecture, I bet.
Absolutely stunning in places.
All right, shifting gears a bit, moving west, Spring Park. Sounds pleasant.
It is. It's pretty Central West, and maybe the biggest thing is it's home to UPEI, the university.
Ah, okay. University town vibe, maybe.
Sort of, yeah. That often brings a certain energy. But the main draw is probably just accessibility. You can likely walk to a lot of things.
Like what kind of things?
Churches, restaurants, shops, schools. Probably some employment opportunities nearby, too, related to the university or otherwise. It's just convenient.
Yeah, convenience is huge. The university probably helps support local businesses, too.
You'd think so. Creates a lively sort of atmosphere.
Okay, good mix. Now, Parkdale. That one sounds like it has an interesting backstory, starting as its own town.
Yeah, exactly. It was separate, then became more of a suburb, especially developed in the mid-20th century, like the 40s and 50s.
Needs a feel of it now.
Generally seen as maybe more middle class. Homes tend to be a bit smaller, more modest, perhaps.
Okay. Practical, maybe?
Could be. And having Parkdale Elementary School right in the neighborhood
Okay.
is definitely a plus for families with young kids.
Right. Always a factor. And then Sherwood often gets lumped in with Parkdale, it seems.
Yeah, they're often talked about together. Sherwood, Parkdale. It's another one highlighted as a really good spot to buy.
What makes Sherwood stand out?
It's considered a mature neighborhood. Safe, community-minded, those are the words you hear.
Yeah.
And again, walkability comes up, schools, amenities.
Seems to be a theme.
It really is important to people.
Uh-huh.
Interestingly, Sherwood's also where you find the airport on the north side and the Sherwood Industrial Park.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the Queen Elizabeth Hospital and Hillsborough Hospital are there too. So it's a real mix, residential, commercial, healthcare, transport.
Quite diverse for one area. Okay, let's head east now. East Royalty. Sounds like it has two distinct parts.
That's a pretty good way to put it.
Yeah.
You've got the southern part, Hillsborough Park subdivision, that was developed with more affordable housing in mind, different types of buildings there.
Okay, potentially more entry-level options.
Potentially, yeah. Then the northern part of East Royalty feels more rural still. Some farming areas mixed in with newer subdivisions popping up.
So different strokes within East Royalty. What about West Royalty? Heard that described as popular with, like, upper-middle-class families?
Yeah, West Royalty tends to have that profile. Lewis Point is one of its established neighborhoods developed maybe 70s, 80s.
And schools. Family-focused.
Definitely. Charlottetown Rural High School is there, Grace Baptist Christian School, West Royalty Elementary. Very family-centric.
Gotcha. And Winslow, another area that got absorbed into the city.
Right. Its history is tied to the railway initially. Then it saw more development later, 70s to 90s, before becoming part of Charlottetown proper.
So it seems like East Royalty and West Royalty are where a lot of the current real estate action is.
That's likely, yeah. Probably because there's still active construction and just room to grow. You know, space for new builds that some of the older, more established areas just don't have anymore.
Makes sense. Growth needs space. What about just outside the city? Cornwall gets mentioned sometimes.
Cornwall is interesting. It often comes in at a slightly lower price point, which naturally catches the eye of new buyers.
A bit more affordable.
Generally speaking, yeah. But the flip side is infrastructure. Keeping up with growth, building out services. That can be a challenge sometimes.
Ah, the classic growing pains.
Exactly. So while the price might be attractive, you'd want to look at how amenities and services are keeping pace.
Good point. So across all these different neighborhoods, what are people really looking for? What are the common threads?
Well, some things are pretty universal, right? Livability is key. Feeling safe in your neighborhood, having enough space, whatever that means for you.
Yeah, the basics.
And just that feeling of home, you know? Feeling settled in a community. We see demand from different groups, families needing more room, first-time buyers trying to get in the market, people who really value health and wellness, maybe proximity to parks or trails.
It's really interesting how Charlottetown seems to be trying to manage all this growth.
Yeah, trying to keep the character of the older places while still allowing for new housing.
How do they do that?
It seems the approach is to respect that sort of low-density feel in the existing neighborhoods, but allow, compatible low-rise stuff.
Yeah.
And then focus the higher-density development, apartments, condos in specific areas.
Where they have transit and amenities already.
Exactly. Areas that can support it. It's definitely a balancing act, trying to grow without losing what makes the place special.
So wrapping this all up, it really sounds like Charlottetown's great reputation isn't just hype. It's built on solid ground.
It really seems that way. It's a combination of things, isn't it? That strong community feel you mentioned, the convenience, the access to modern needs like good internet.
And this incredible variety of neighborhoods.
Absolutely. Each with its own kind of flavor, its own appeal. Whether you want historic downtown charm or a newer build with room to grow.
It seems like there's something for a lot of different people looking for, well, just a great place to live, maybe retire, raise that family.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It does seem to offer a lot.
Well, this has been fantastic, really shedding some light on the different corners of Charlottetown.
And, we really need to give a big thank you here.
Oh, absolutely.
To Mike Montague. He actually suggested this topic for us.
Yeah, and provided all the research materials too. Really fantastic stuff to dig into.
It really was super helpful. So, building on that, if you, listening right now, are perhaps thinking about a move, maybe to Charlottetown, or, anywhere within Charlottetown, or even somewhere else on Prince Edward Island.
Right. If PEI is on your radar at all.
Then we'd strongly suggest getting in touch with Mike Montague.
Definitely. I mean, his understanding of the local market, the different communities, it's really top-notch.
Exactly. That kind of local knowledge and, expertise, it would be, well, just invaluable.
Absolutely invaluable, and finding the right spot for you, wouldn't it?
It really would. Finding that perfect community fit. So yeah, definitely reach out to Mike.
And hey, if you listening enjoyed this deep dive, please do us a favor, like, subscribe, maybe share it with someone who might be curious about PEI. It really helps us keep these conversations going.